dead last by the majority of pundits.
Can they really do the impossible?
But this is a story about something much more than a game.
We went into it with the mentality that friendship will win in the end.
You have to believe it in your guts that it's not over. Because obviously everything around you is telling you it's over.
The ultimate underdog story.
Every good Dota team understands the phrase, a good teammate. All 6 of them.
Now looking back at it, it's changed my life.
Hello everyone on site in Berlin and on Twitch. Also, thank you for joining us to the big OG night. Yesterday was the premiere of the last episode of True Sight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We still have a lot of announcements coming tonight. If you heard some rumors over the last few weeks and you're wondering which of them are true, you're going to find out tonight, so stick around. But without further ado, let's welcome the OG team on stage. Thank you guys for joining me. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I haven't heard any rumors, so I'm pretty excited.
When did you arrive in Berlin?
It's
Are you enjoying it?
yeah,
The city? Yeah?
very much. I mean,
Very much?
I think it's like one of our favorite times of the year. True Sight. Hopefully, we keep it going. It's a pretty good habit that we got into. So
Yeah, it's one of the better traditions, you know. This is way better than Christmas, to be honest. Let's make it next year again.
And a lot of announcements tonight from what I hear. Can you tease some of them right now?
I heard that you were.
What did you hear?
I mean,
you're going, right?
am I?
Yeah.
This is. Oh, sorry.
Wait, wasn't it you?
What?
Weren't you going away from the
What
act?
about
Are you supposed to tell
What
them?
are you doing?
Hopefully I'm staying. I mean, hopefully.
No, you're not staying, but that's for later. Like,
The hard truth right now. Well, I mean, we already heard about some stuff over the last few weeks, and especially with concerning you, Seb, stepping down from the game, taking in some new position. Can you tell us a bit more about this for those who didn't follow the announcement? What are you gonna do next year?
no, I mean it's. I mean, basically, it's been two like super exciting seasons. It's been even more than that, and I just felt like I got to the point where I could do more on the sidelines. For first of all, for the team and for the other teams that are part of OG. Basically, for everyone that's within OG, I just feel like we've acquired so much like experience over the years that we can put to good use, and that I can probably put to better use alongside Titwan, Sokshka also. We're trying to, we're more than trying, we're going to succeed in building the proper staff around the teams and try to, build a system that's going to build a very healthy environment to kind of sustain performance, pretty much. That's what it is. And in every single field.
Do you have some details? Maybe how do you envision OG growing? I mean, and the support stuff from OG growing over the year.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be about finding the right persons and the right structure. So it's an ongoing process. I think now we're at a phase where it's mostly about kind of assessing the needs. Because they vary over time. They vary with the profiles that join the org and also with where teams are at. For instance, some people require much more help than others.
I mean, we're honestly like, as long as we have Seb, I think everything will work for us in OG. This guy, he's an amazing teacher. Now I'm gonna really sugarcoat this guy's ego, but the way OG kind of works has always been through enabling and listening to each other. And at the moment, we're looking to kind of grow the family and get bigger and make a home for the people that deserve it and need it. And it's been a learning process as well. I like to think that our intentions have always been good, but sometimes you live and you learn, and sometimes you fall down. But yeah, as long as we have this guy, I'm sure everything will work.
But it must have been a pretty huge news to process. I mean, Thompson, how did they tell you? How did you react?
React to what?
How did you react when Seb told you that he would step down?
Oh, finally, thank God. He gets more space on the map now. He gets to shine more. He's happy.
I mean, obviously it's a it's a bad thing, of course. Seb not playing anymore for us, not carrying with his amazing heroes and stuff. But I mean, of course, it's exciting. Also, we get a new player, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to the new season.
I can tell you because he's not being entirely honest. I think everybody was like, oh my God, it's like losing daddy in a way. Everybody was asking this guy questions, you know. You hear it in True Sight as well in the draft, like, Seb, what do you think? You know, people are always worried to lose this. I mean,
But that's
we
not
all
going away.
No, that's not going away, you know, and that's also what I think everybody eventually understood. Even though one day it will go away, thank God. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's everybody was like, oh man, Seb's gonna stop. And I'm also like, yo, dude, your career is so young. Why are you stopping now? But
I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're still gonna be there for each other. And if anything, it's gonna be like really new, exciting challenges. I think that we were all giving enough time to self-reflect on whether it made sense. And yeah, I guess this is what makes the most sense. Simple.
And I mean, you have previously been on the background
Yeah.
also for the team.
It's
and
something that I also enjoy. So you know.
Yeah, and I think you also worked like that as a player in a way that
Yeah.
you also looked out for people, and definitely you have given more for looking at other people than yourself, I think, and you're really good at that. That's your skill, and I think it perfectly makes sense that if you're willing and if you want to, then you're given the position to always fall back and take care of your boys.
I'm willing. Sign me in. Awesome.
Titouan, I know you've been working with the team for over a year now, so is it going to change anything for your implications as a coach?
I mean, yeah, things gonna change, but in a good way.
it's gonna get easier.
Yeah, for sure. No, but I think, I mean, I know Seb now for like 15 years or something. We are really good friends, and we have always worked really well together. So I think we can make it work pretty easily.
Yeah.
And the other big announcement for RG last week was about you. You announced that, I mean, you broke your fans' heart, I think, in a way, but
Everyone.
you won't be coming back as a player for OG next year. This was a big decision for you, as I expect. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about this? Why this decision, and what's the next step moving forward for you?
Yeah, so I've given a small dialogue on what I think and try to quickly direct people towards what I think is the real problems. There is also, aside from that, there is a lot of thinking about this commitment as a player, that every single player here knows that how much they have given over the years and how much they give each day to play this game. And for me, for thinking of the upcoming year, I feel it's better for me to not jump into the train, and I feel it's the logical choice for me to give myself more time to really be able to open fully to myself and as a person, and that's also one thing that I've very much seen myself as a player, and that's been my identity. And I think I'm much more than that. And I try to, by this choice, I try to really give myself the possibility to open myself for possibilities of what that really is.
Okay. Do you know what you would be interested in, maybe? Because you mentioned that sometimes during the seasons may be long and you don't have the drive for the competition anymore, but you're still interested in some aspects of the game, the fact that no one cracked up Dota yet, and you still have so many things to discover. So I know that Seb is joining the performance side of OG. Maybe you're going to stick around, hopefully, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna backseat the game with Sebastian.
That's gonna be the most
we
fun.
haven't talked about it before, but that's really the deal here.
Oh, that's gonna be so good watching them play and be like, ah.
Yeah, we're gonna be broadcasters at TI10. And,
oh yeah, we're gonna double cast your games.
Oh yeah,
that's the plan.
You die in first bloods in finals. It's
oh my God, you're gonna team up and just flame us, right, for hours on end.
Pretty much that's the plan.
Silently.
That would be funny.
In a painful way that you have to watch the stream later.
That would be pretty fun, actually.
But more so seriously, I'm really into games. I think Dota has just been the very logical choice for me so far. I've been denying myself the chance to go for other games simply because of the commitment, and I feel if I played any other game, I would just waste my time. And right now, I would say that's the direction. Now, I don't know what kind of opportunity that really is, what lies behind there, but we shall see.
Yeah, and you have all the time in the world to think about it. But if you had to remember one thing with the time you spent playing with OG, what would it be?
Oof.
That's a rough one.
Good memory or bad? I mean, we're open to everything.
I mean, the most obvious, I think, when we recreated the team, we had us three, and we were in a position that it's either go big or go home, and I think how much they pushed me in that moment, because I was destroyed. I was shattered, but they somehow carried out. They got me together. I think that's for me. That's really close for me.
Remember the hotel jumping that we did when we first got to Paris? Remember the first week? Oh.
We were kind of homeless in a way, I guess.
Jumping from the hotel. I was like,
oh, no.
No, we did not do that. But yeah.
How about you guys? Any good memories or bad? Any good memories with Jerax over the years?
Anyone? Any? Can you find one?
I guess you have two good memories with him, right? But, yeah.
I mean, what first pops to mind is just when I joined, and the first boot camp, I was a bit like, not that comfortable maybe. Like, I wasn't like perfectly feeling it. I wasn't like confident in everything, and he was the guy who I talked with the most during the boot camp. Just talk about the game, made me comfortable, and yeah, he helped me a lot in that way.
Notel, you have something you would like to add maybe? Any good memories?
Favorite moments? Yeah, I mean, Jesse has been my left hand in the game for a very long time, and it's been good, bro. All of them.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's so hard to pick. Yeah, and I guess we're about to get emotional.
All right, well, we can also.
He's like,
you don't have to deny the emotion.
No.
But he's just like I don't know. Like I mean, you're such an incredible player. I think you know what we think of you as a player, but most importantly, I think you're an incredible teammate. I think that you're probably one of the smartest person that I've also met about understanding what a team needs, and I think he's the person that is also able to sacrifice himself when it's required and to step up when it isn't. Like you'd have games where Jesse, he would understand, like he would be smart enough to understand that, for instance, the energy, there's already a lot of it, and there's probably a lot of cooks in the kitchen already, and then he'd step back. And that's very, you got to be humble to do that. It's not easy, especially when, like you're going through these tournaments, it should also be your moment, right? So having the strength to step back is a big thing. And then the moment comes where now we need him because, we overdid something, and then we're just looking at it, and then he's there for us. And I mean, anybody that watched, for instance, TI8 TrueSight, was like, Game 5, we're about to do TI, and he's like literally like shouting at us, where like, you guys are gonna man up and stuff, and he's feeding us so much energy, and he's turning us into his soldiers. And I mean, these things happen, and I'm not even talking about the Dota part, because Dota speaks for itself. You just watch one of his replays, and then I mean, it's all said. Like, there's nothing else to add. Seriously, I think even if anything, the opponents are gonna talk better about it, the pain and the suffering, right? I'm just happy that it was on our side. That's what I have to say. When I queue into, like in pubs into him, I think he's one of the only players that Dota players would understand. Like I literally dodge. Like he's the only guy that I out F4. When I realize that I'm against him, I just close the game and I just queue another one. I can't.
That's actually true.
It's true. It's a true fact. All of these are true facts.
Yeah,
I don't play against that guy.
Yeah. I just go on your lane and I'm like, well, how to win this game? What's the winning condition? And well,
I can take it against a lot of players, but not against you.
I'm pretty sure you could do a Jesse Podge versus OG compilation, and you're gonna see a lot of OG pings. Like,
he'd break us too. So.
Would make a movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I know you've been able to look back at the journey you had yesterday watching the latest episode of TrueSight. Now that you had time for Let It Sink In, what did you think about the episode you saw last night, about the second victory at TI? Seb, maybe you want to go first?
It was really emotional, right? Like I think we all got really emotional.
It was an emotional roller coaster for sure. But for me, and I think for a lot of Dota fans, you could tell that this was the first true site where the strategy and the coming together was emphasized. I felt very fulfilled. Like I love the way they put the music in. You had like some of the music was just very well tuned, and some of the cuts were just incredible, of course. And then they did capture the emotional part. But yeah, for me, it was like the first true site to satisfy my Dota need for timings and understanding of like what are the teams trying to do. Yeah, it was 10 out of 10 for me. It's always 10 out of 10. Favorite movie ever, you know?
Biased.
No, not biased.
Yeah, watching the communication from you guys and the communication from Nigma, I mean, it must have been you. You didn't know they would communicate like this back then when you were playing the finals, right?
I mean, I would say we knew, but we have never seen the actual facts, what we know. And as much as we have talked, like, we think about the game quite similar. I think we understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think TrueSight very much brought that what is the comparison in the teams and how much they actually interact, though you don't really have anybody to interact with. Like, you don't see how the teams talk. Really, like they don't talk to each other, but then you see still like how they draft, and I think it's very interesting that to see the data that we actually thought very similarly.
Yeah, the drafting part, especially seeing all the mind games between the two teams, was really interesting. Thompson, what was the highlight for you from the movie? Best moment?
Highlights. I mean, the whole movie, obviously, except the game of first. It was a bit. The plot twist in the end, no, it was not good. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty damn good. I loved it. Goosebumps all the time. It was great.
And Titouan, seeing yourself on stage, everything in Shanghai, bringing back the memories, I hope.
Yeah, it did, for sure, it did. For me, what I love, it was the angle Valve approach. It was like the drafting thing. It was way different from TI 8, I feel. And yeah, really enjoyed it.
Well, if you guys missed it, we have some footage of what happened last night. Let's check it out.
We're at Babylon Berlin. We saw the TrueSight.
My favorite part was actually watching the losers, how they dealt with it. That's something you don't get to see a lot, so I thought it was very unique.
This is the first time that we've done it with both teams that were in the grand finals. We were curious about how that would work out, but it turns out that the members of both teams are so close that it was so great to see them interact, and they all sat and mingled and watched it together. It was like one big brotherhood, and it just kind of reminded me how important it is to showcase some of these stories where it goes across team boundaries and it's really just about friends playing Dota.
A new era unfolds, and we couldn't be more proud of our newest edition. Please welcome OG Sumail.
That was an amazing movie, as always. And we have Nick and Eric, who produced the TrueSight we saw yesterday, who are here with us tonight. Thank you for joining us for this big night. Wow, I mean, I was really impressed seeing this one, because seeing the fact that they won TI the year before that, I was really looking forward to seeing the direction you guys would took and the angle you guys would took with this one. So can you explain the rise of this TrueSight? What was the idea? How did you take this direction this year? Nick, if you want to go first. I know you've been following OG the whole way. Can you tell me about following this team through the finals and deciding to put the strategic aspect of these two teams facing each other?
TrueSight always ends up being the two teams in the finals, so you don't really know, at least until the day before the finals, at least one of the teams. And when we had them coming back for this year, we were obviously really excited, and it worked out that I ended up following them during the finals, but Eric also ended up following Liquid. So it was, we were happy because we like how much they communicate inside the pods. So excited.
And Eric, seeing your baby, seeing this episode for the first time, how were you? Emotional, I hope.
Oh, I mean, it's on?
Yeah, it's on.
It was amazing. Seeing these guys' friendship, I think that's the biggest thing for us is like they communicate so well together. They're really great friends. They're very positive. And also with Team Liquid, they were so gracious in defeat. But to see that, if you guys, I don't know if it's out yet, but the commentary with the two teams watching yesterday, we filmed it was unbelievable to see how well they
knew each other.
Together. Yeah, how well they knew each other, how well they respect each other. Yeah, definitely tune into that because it's great to see.
And for you guys to being, I'm sorry, you didn't want to say something. Because for you guys to being followed during the finals, which is supposed to be the most important moment for you guys, how was it? For the second time?
I mean, I think the first time was Kiev Major, right?
Yep. You guys have been in 3 true sites.
3 true sites. And
Wow.
like
3 out of 4, is that right?
That's a good. And I think, okay, the truth be told, I think the first time we were a bit not stressed, but we were kind of wondering what it was going to be because it was very new to us. And I think after seeing it, it just became like it's like not only you get to TI finals, but you're gonna be featured in True Sight. I think it becomes like an honor because of like seriously just the approach and that you guys have to this documentary. And I think the last one showed it even in an even better light. It's like I mean now it's like. You know, when I was watching True Sight yesterday night, we were sitting next to each other, and I get the passion that we're sharing, and I don't want to speak on your guys' behalf, but at least what it translates is that you guys share the same passion for the game and for what it implies, and I think it really translates in how the thing is made and how it's directed and how the angle. It's really the human side of things. I think what's very subtle about Dota. Like, I don't know, to me it's just a masterpiece. The problem is that I'm meant to be biased, so I'm not allowed to say it, but I just did. So, you know, what you gonna do about it? It's a masterpiece, that's
the
it.
masterpiece of the most important competition in Dota. I mean, tell me about the pride of producing this content every time.
I think that we're excited that we get to follow these guys through a gauntlet that is insane, and what they end up doing is always so impressive, and how they handle adversity and how they come together as friends, and then seeing how the best players in the world handle defeat and the amount of respect that's between them. It's truly inspiring, and
I have a question. How far do you feel, guys, have like the teams have moved since Kiev? Like the first the first True Sight was Kiev, right?
Yeah, it was
the absolute first, right?
Kiev.
Yeah, sorry, Kiev to TI9. Like how far the teams move in terms of skill and professionalism? Like, would you say, in your opinion?
That's something. Well, Nick's been around since. What was the name of the movie you guys made? The first movie? Free to Play. Thank you.
Right.
And I came in, TI3, and it's amazing to see how much the scene has matured, but also how much the players have matured. Like, you know, 7-8 years ago, you guys were just little shits, right?
Yeah.
And now you guys are so mature, so professional, so respectful. It's great that you guys let us, you know, kind of intrude on your lives to show the fans what it's like to be in that booth in those moments. But it's come a long ways, for sure.
But truth be told, I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like True Sight, for instance, is a very good example of making that happen, like helping making that happen. Because even ourselves, when we look at them, I mean, the truth is, these are pieces that we study now. Like, we're looking at team communication and whatnot, and you get to put some distance with things, and it's the purest form of communication you'd be able to look at, right? I mean, where TI or major finals is like, it's so intense. You're all in every sense of the word.
there's like the documentary syndrome, though, is what I like to call it. It's like you're at the final and somebody asks you, yo, we want to film, and it's like, do you care what we show, as in terms of strategy, because it is so revealing. And when you're there in the moment, at least it was like that for the first year. We're like, doesn't matter, probably last tournament anyway, you know. It's like, show whatever the thing you want, and then later on you're like, oh shit, maybe I should have like said don't show this, or if I could like grasp that. And the same thing for TI9, and now competition can take it and study it. Like, it's, for us, it's the most sensitive thing, kinda. You can see it's way more revealing than many things like people could talk about in games, like the theory about Dota. This is really golden. Like, you can take a lot from it. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe TI10 TrueSight will be like, hold up.
You're getting ahead of yourself now.
You're not going to let us in?
I'll let you in. I'll let you in. I'll think about messaging you after. Like, can we hold on? Like, not showing maybe.
I feel it does help like Dota players, like casual Dota players in their Dota journey, because it does shed a long light of like what even like pro players go through also. And honestly, it's the same set of emotions, the same challenges. Of course, you know, winning TI, it sounds like a bigger challenge than winning your next game, but truth be told, it really isn't. It's gonna require the same will, the same drive, the same sacrifices, the same way to treat your teammates, your opponent, all of that. And in that sense, you know, when you're mentioning how the scene has grown, kinda the mentality, I think it's directly linked to these pieces, that kind of pieces, right, that are gonna spread more light on.
But to that effect, I think that the way that you've you both years that you guys have now been in the finals and we've been able to show what you guys have done, I think that people understand how important it is to not get tilted and all those other things. Like, and it's so, you know, the pressure is incredible, and I understand all that is very difficult, but you know, your friendship and also your ability to, again, just push things off. Like after game one, as an example, you considered that a win.
It was a win.
We laughed. we could stop.
It was a win.
The whole team, we couldn't figure out. We were like, yeah, no, it's a win. It's a win.
And it was. Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. And it's really funny because now the comments that we get on socials or something about TrueSight is like, we're even being told at times like, hey, you probably should have said that. Like, people are so now, it feels like as a group, like as a community, we're so much more mindful of how important it is, like how you treat each other's, right, as individuals and all. And people are even like lecturing, but I mean it in a good way. It's like, hey, maybe you should have said that to that guy, you know, or I saw him, he fell down. And
I feel like they were understating very much, both the key of TrueSight, and I also feel like I don't know I don't remember how revealing free to play was in terms of some of the communication, but the other TrueSights, people weren't that critical on how they were communicating, but this one, it feels like that was the whole emphasis, and also kind of the movie. The theme was believing in each other and supporting each other. Yeah.
Honestly, TrueSight is what happens in those pods.
Yeah.
So you're getting a vision of what really happened inside those pods.
Yeah.
And that's
this year with the two teams, it was, you know, it's like magic when we get that. So we take it.
It's like I said, I think there's a reason those two teams made it this year or that year. Yeah.
Nick, you've been talking about the challenges, the pressures they can have. What was the biggest challenge when making this documentary? And same question for you, Eric.
We have a great team, and you know, we come into this every year and just hope that we get 5 games. That's all we want. Like we don't really get to choose anything. We get to come and film, like, you know, wildlife photographers and stay out of their way as best we can and let them perform.
You do a really good job at that, though. Like, I think it's really important, right? Because they kind of have to capture every second, but at the same time, they really don't want to disrupt our focus, and it doesn't even happen. We end up talking about how we completely forgot that you guys were even around, which is the best.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
And finding
And
the
I
perfect story every time.
I was going to say, I think one of the bigger challenges also is just the amount of footage we go through, and we want to get this out as quick as possible, but we also want it to be a really good piece, right? So it's hundreds of hours of footage because we have so many cameras that we're combing through, and like our lead editor was going to the last minute, and he actually fell asleep on the carpet the last day at like noon. He was like, looking at the screen, I'm just done. I need a nap. And so he laid down and took a nap for an hour. It's just there's a lot of work that goes into this, and we just really hope people like it and appreciate it.
And love, for sure. I mean, we love watching you guys perform and being able to tell that story. It's our pleasure.
Are you ever gonna do like a True Sight blooper thing? Like, yeah.
There should be one.
We ran out of time. We really want to do that, but
Yeah.
again, like our guy fell asleep,
Yeah.
so
And he's
we
still
ran out of
resting.
time. But hopefully, maybe we can come up with some because there's some good scenes that didn't make it. They didn't really fit the story, but hopefully we can put something out in the next little
Next
couple
time,
months.
hopefully. Well, I mean, this one was amazing. Thank you so much, and also thank you for coming here and talk about this. We don't quite hear often from you guys, so yeah, thank you for being with us tonight, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next piece from you next year. Maybe a third one with OG. We'll see that
No, see you guys next
in a
year.
few months.
You guys next year.
But
Really
yeah.
going with that?
Moving forward, I know you guys also did an announcement. Maybe you wanted to say something before.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and thanks again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing to have you guys here. And at the end of the projection, you guys made an announcement, a roster announcement. We can check out the video right now because Sumail is joining OG.
Every championship win comes with its fair share of challenges and pitfalls. There is a unique story behind every trophy that has been lifted over the years. Hard work, talent and momentum. We think we've seen it all, but there is surely much more to come. Lifting the Aegis twice taught us something. Every TI champion had something special. Raw skill, mind-blowing team coordination, surgical execution, they were all prodigies with rare qualities that made them kings in their own ways. To keep building our legacy, we need the finest Dota can offer. Once a rival who lived evil, he will now become a precious ally who wants his crown back. A new era unfolds and we couldn't be more proud of our newest addition. Please welcome OG Sumail.
Please welcome on stage, Sumail.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice having you here. I think it was one of the biggest announcements from OG and from last night. I mean, you joining this team, how excited are you?
Pretty excited. Probably you can't see it right now because I'm super tired, but I'm really excited.
And how about you? I mean, Notel welcoming this legend in your team. I know there's some kind of rivalry between some orgs. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, welcoming him among OG, the OG family. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a huge passion of mine to see people just play really well. It was always my thing to kind of want to enable people. I really do want to see other people grow, and no better player in the scene than Sumail. Like, for us, he was always the problem at EG. I've said this before. Having him, I want to do so many things that I felt like they should have done. I mean, you've been on EG for so many years, right? Often people switch, but you've been on one team for so long. I feel like there's more you can learn, or there's more you can do / discover.
Just things inside the game or outside the game, man. I just gotta get it cleared up.
Nah. Dota stuff.
Dota stuff.
All right.
Seb, how did you react when Notel said he wanted Sumail in?
I mean, to me, like, we've said it yesterday. I'm just gonna say it again. Like, he's a player that we truly respect because we had to play against him like many times. And when you play against him, you know, like certain things happen, and then you understand like his approach for Dota. I think it's funny because I mean, I know you said it yesterday, but I'm also very convinced of that. I think our reads, like all of us here, and Topias's, and I mean Yes's, and like our reads on the game are actually pretty similar. I think.
Yeah.
It's just true Dota. It's like you're there to win the game, and in every aspect of the game, it means like you're gonna turn your enemies into losers, like into true losers, and you're gonna become, you know, the true winner. It sounds simple, but it's not that simple. It's like a mentality thing, and it fits perfectly. It's just, I don't know. I'm just really excited for 2020.
Yeah.
As much as, yeah, of course, you know what the last roster achieved. It's really amazing and whatnot, and I do think that we'll be reflecting on that. I think we're already all looking forward to what's to come, and it's even more exciting. So it's just let's just rock 2020. Seriously, like try our best and see what happens.
Try our best to do even better.
Yeah.
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 Besides, this guy, he's the only guy that could kill Thompson. He's the Thompson Slayer.
Yes.
So, what now? What else?
So yeah, then he's on Thompson's
And
side.
then he's on Thompson's side. So it's no, exciting ahead, man. I'm just so excited to play.
Excited, and I guess all the fans must be. And you can also send us your questions on Twitter and Twitch. He'll be answering them a bit later. But I want to know, I mean, from EG to OG, the fans must have gone crazy around this.
Yeah, I mean, they're confused what team to root for, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's OG now. And yeah. Yeah.
How do you think your style is going to fit with OG style? Because that's one of the biggest questions, I think.
Personality-wise, I think we are doing okay.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Right? Maybe I'm putting on a persona or whatever.
I like how you check with them.
Yeah. So far, we are doing great. Dota-wise, I know it for a fact. We are super similar.
Yeah.
There's no confusion there. So things are looking pretty great.
And so far, I mean, so far so good, but how is he adapting with the team so far? Because he's one of the new members, you've been here all time.
So the team has been formed over, unique way as how the season turned out for both parties. We've yet to play a single game. How we mesh, time will tell how good it will be. I look at it as the best thing ever. And yeah, reality has seemed to surprise me, but for the better in the future. So
One thing I think is really cool about it is like we're sitting there and you know one of the trap when you actually succeed, like you succeed in winning a championship that you're chasing, is that you become content and you feel like you're at a place where you should be satisfied, and that's something that I think is the downfall of the teams that are meant to be good and meant to be somewhere around the best teams in the world if you want to maintain there. And I feel like bringing Sumail on is like we're gonna get to learn, also like hopefully you get to learn from us, and I'm super convinced that we're gonna learn from you too. And that aspect I think is the coolest part. At the end of the day, we're all like Dota passionates, and like we're all looking to improve at this game. It's incredibly complex, and we just keep improving day after day. And I think when you get that feeling and that vibe that you're gonna take another step. At least to me, it's one of the best feeling that the game, like provides me with. And now I have this really big sense of like, we're gonna take another step, to get even better, like collectively, individually, like just feed off each other's.
give me all them EG secrets.
After this interview.
I feel like, as you said, learning from each other is the first step, because you didn't play together yet in competition, right? And I know you spent hours talking to each other. So what are you talking about right now? What aspects of the game? Or, I don't know, what has been the conversation between you and Johan so far?
We talked a lot about Dota as
Yeah.
much as we could, but we are also doing all the media stuff, so we have been busy all day. But yeah, mostly just Dota, and I like how he talks about Dota. I've been enjoying listening to Seb and Johan, and yeah.
Okay, we have some questions from the community so far, from Siab D3. What were Sumail's thoughts about OG while in EG? What were your thoughts about OG while you were playing with EG?
So to be honest, at TI8 we thought they were not as strong, at least in the groups.
Yeah.
And then when they got on the main stage, they apparently learned a lot. And then we actually played them. It felt hard in the series. And then after the tournament ended, we were like, okay, maybe, it's got lucky of it. And
Just
then
say it. Just say the word, man.
they fluke, okay, whatever. And
Just
then
say it, man.
we played TI9, and at that tournament, I think from the start we knew they were the best team.
Yeah.
Everybody did, and we tried to learn a lot from them. I think we did, somewhat, but yeah, they just played way better than everyone else.
I know you don't have anything to prove given how talented you are, but is there any pressure joining OG, knowing that they're the double TI winner back-to-back?
I think it's a trick question. I can't come out as a winner. I would avoid it.
If any player would strike me as a player that deals with pressure really well, like it would be Sumail. It's like I remember these, the best example would probably be TI8. Like we're playing EG on the main stage, and it's probably one of the most important games of our careers. and yeah, we like when it matters, like he just steps up. Like at least it's the feeling you get when competing against him. Or
Sure.
obviously you've never competed against yourself, that's pretty tricky to do actually. But so we win game 1 and in TI8, and we should have momentum, and he just like breaks that momentum. This is how he starts like. I don't want to say overperforming, but like you just feel it. Like he's just everywhere. He's bringing it back, and then game 3 was even harder.
Yeah.
So those top games, you can't make a single mistake,
Yeah.
And when you make one, it's like you just lose.
Yeah, and then this mistake just won't happen, and yeah, it's a scary thing to play against, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, no, I do think that it's an environment that we strive in, and the fact that he also has that going for him, I think it should click, like very like or
Easily?
naturally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most of people are wondering about the gameplay changes, and I have a question from Major Eves asking, how are you going to change your gameplay to match OG gameplay, and are you going to use chat wheels more often now?
I mean, if I have to, and I'm told I have to, I will do it. But I've never done it usually. It's not my thing. But for the company, as you like to say, I would do it. And the gameplay-wise, so we haven't played together yet, right? But from the talks, it shouldn't be that hard or hard at all. I feel like we're pretty similar already. So yeah, gameplay shouldn't be that hard.
All right. And Notel, you think you can teach him?
Teach him what? The gameplay aspect of the. Of
No,
OG?
the first aspect about the chat wheel.
Oh, just the chat wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has their own chat wheel. I think the will to do it will come with the rest of us doing it, or maybe I will have to kind of motivate everyone.
Yeah.
Me and Thompson will have to maybe lead the charge, and then people will follow, I think. And then I don't know what kind of a chat wheeler Sumail will be. We'll find out.
What?
Maybe you're not a chat wheeler at all.
I mean, I get to tip you now, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're going to be on my team, so that's going to be cool. And you're going to tip me back, and we're going to be on the same team, so that's cool.
Yeah. And if I say tip and you don't tip, that's okay. I'm just going to keep saying tip, and eventually you're going to get with it.
All right.
Why has it been such a big part of OG, this thing?
I mean, all I can say is watch New Zealanders play rugby, and you kind of get it. I mean, that's what it represents to me, like some good team spirit, some good morale, and I feel people are insane for not using it.
Yeah, we kind of need a way to express that, let off that energy, that like forward-going thing.
Loser, right there, loser.
Straight to your face. Now, a bit more on the questions the audience had. Bringing back the memories, what will you miss the most from your time with EG? Like, what was the hardest part of saying goodbye to them? You don't know?
No, I don't know.
All right. New question from Inibobi. How excited will you be when OG finally meets EG?
Okay.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of history involved now. Like, there was already some, and now it's more. Definitely the team I want to play the most. I wouldn't say there's any bad blood, not from my side at least, between the team. But it will still be fun, just as a competitive aspect, and as a spectator, I think it's the most fun series to watch in Dota now. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
And from your side, when you think about what happened 2 years ago with Fly and the fact that now Sumail is joining, what do you think about it?
I really think it's fun matches against EG. I just think they got funnier. I don't know. I'm excited to play. I'm super excited to play.
Waiting for other questions from the community. Otherwise, I think we'll be wrapping. Yeah, and I was wondering, what are your goals, your personal goals this year within OG?
Personal goal.
What is going to be 2020 Sumail?
2020 Sumail. I want a road to be a flower. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I want to learn. It's a new culture too, Europe, and yeah, I'm just gonna like grow as a person, I think, and as a player. That's the goal. I think everything else is gonna come naturally. I don't want to focus too much on winning. Yeah, just gonna play and learn from the boys.
And last one, because we know that OG has a signification pretty much for everyone. So what is the signification of OG for you?
That's a hard one.
What does it stand for?
I
You're on
don't
your
know.
own for
I
that
don't know.
one.
I don't want to say anything.
Can't help you here at all. That's a hard one.
Oh,
No,
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
yeah, think about it. We'll give
I'm
this
looking
one
at the
for
logo and I'm
later
thinking,
on
okay.
social media. Yeah,
Overly
maybe.
gorilla. Overly gorilla.
Overly gorilla. That's a pretty
Today
good
it's
one.
overly gorilla. I
After
think.
last true side, that's a decent one, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Gorilla. That's a good
Anything
one.
you would like to say to the fans watching you tonight and who are welcoming you to the OG family also?
Yeah, thank you for the warm welcome in Europe. I did not expect it as much as I got in
Yeah.
Europe. And we're going to be playing in a week or two, I think, opens. And yeah, just look forward to watch us play. And I think we will be delivering some decent Dota at least. Yeah.
Well, congrats and welcome to the family. And talking about the OG family, it's growing even more. So please let's welcome on stage everyone, missing players, and also the CS team that we didn't
All right, how are we gonna
see
sit?
before. Thank you, guys.
We're squeezing.
Are we squeezing?
We're squeezing.
And also, yeah, thanks to everyone who's here tonight, people that you can't see who are working from backstage, people on social media, all the fans supporting the OG family for so many years. Yeah, thanks to everyone for being here tonight. And we can, I think, move on. And I'm sorry, we can, I think, move on and focus a bit more on CS:GO because we see the CS:GO family here. They joined the family recently, so I want to focus a bit more about these guys. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you kindly to go off the stage right now, except the CS:GO guys.
All right, we're just
And
keeping
Seb, you're
CS:GO.
staying with me. And thank you, Samuel.
Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome.
What? I'm done.
It's going to be crowded for the, yeah. If he wants to stay, he can stay. I mean, yeah. Wow.
All right. We're all
Some
cozy.
big announcements here as well, because I see a face from the CS team we never saw before. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice
So
to
you're
meet you.
joining the team as the head coach, right? You've been working with them for several months now, from what I hear.
I started working with them after the Christmas break,
Okay.
so roughly 1 month with the boys.
How is it going so far with the team?
Yeah, it's going really well. I think like the synergy is getting better each day, and I get to learn them like the more we play and together, and also like from the feedback I give from them, and I think it's been really good so far, and I can't like wait for our first official matches together.
Nice, yeah, and it's going to be in a few weeks already. But before that, let's rewind a bit because Seb, CS team in OG, that was the big announcement from the last part of last year. So tell me how it happened. Why CS? Why these guys?
I mean, CS is just an awesome game.
Yeah.
Seriously, like it's such a complex game. Like, it's very subtle. It's extremely competitive. We were always looking, like as an org, OG was always looking at CS. It's a game that has, you know, our entire like respect and admiration. It's that competitive that it's not easy, I think, to have a proper, like kind of shape a proper journey in CS because of how competitive the scene is really. But there were favorable circumstances. You know, like super high-profile players that we truly believe have the perfect, you know, mindset and kind of skills required to, you know, be the best in the world if they weren't already. So in that sense, it just made sense. It just made sense. You know, it was very obvious, and we were lucky enough that they also saw it that way. You know, it made sense to them, and this is how it all happened. And yeah, and now we're just blessed that it's a thing, that it's real.
How did you build this lineup, and who built this lineup?
It's mostly the credit.
We just found each other on the street,
Nathan.
something like that.
Just random, like this. Yeah.
Just walked into each other.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have a team anymore too. Oh yeah, cool. Let's make something.
Hey,
It's been just a long weeks and month of talk where several things changed along the way. Like everything was just very complex. It was not the best moment in Counter-Strike to change everything and to have changes like this. But luckily, I think we found each other quite directly in the mentality and the way we think about Counter-Strike, we approach building a team and all of that. And so it obviously helps into putting things together. And yeah, I mean, from there, it was just a matter of actually being able to play together. And then it was just a process that just worked out.
And how is it going so far? How do you guys play together?
For me personally, we've just been grinding. We've been getting more comfortable with each other. And I feel like if you have Isa in the team, it just makes it so much more enjoyable, since he just makes the atmosphere so much better. But yeah, we're just getting known each other. We're just getting more comfortable with each other. Yeah, we're just grinding.
I know you've just had a boot camp, and can you tell me how it went, the training and everything? I know you're preparing to go to, what is it?
Ice something.
Problast soon, yeah, and
Blast.
Ice Problast soon. How is it gonna go for you guys?
A lot of work, to be honest. We had a rough beginning of January, just like the first week or something, just getting into it. But then there were a lot of talks, a lot of help from OG as well, Seb in particular, and things just started clicking a bit more. So we need a lot of basis in the team because it's a first international team for everyone except for Isa. But for the rest of us, we have to build basis and build something that we never had before. And doing this, putting like 5 experience, 5 backgrounds with different approaches to Counter-Strike, how to make a team and all of that, is a big, big challenge. But even then, like the 2 months we spent together playing and all of that, we're really building something that makes sense, that is coherent, and we actually progress a lot day after day, and we can feel that. So it's the most important, just progressing, and then who knows what's the limit? We don't even know ourselves. It's just a matter of, what can we do? And so we're going to keep on progressing up until we reach, I don't know, winning maybe.
Do you know the strength you can have so far from playing together?
His big brain. and I think one of the big things for the team is like the synergy we have.
Yeah.
Coming from the French scene, I don't know if it's the best example, but there were a lot of things where you don't always agree, and then things go south from there. But with this roster so far, as soon as we had problems or anything, we can speak about it a lot, and then we still remain friends and with a good atmosphere and everything around it. So that's a very important part into progressing, especially with the way we put the team together, international roster and all of that. So the fact that we're open to one another and working all the time, like with the people that have more experience in a role or whatnot, just being able to speak with the others and like exchange, like we prac for like 6-7 hours together, and then like we take a break for 2 hours, and then we go back on the server to like work individually, whether it is with me, Alexi, or Raga, anyone. Like people are really eager to be better, and I think that's the trademark of the team so far. Like we're really going hard into it, and we're not letting things being random. It's just like we're here for something, we're going to work for it, and we're going to get it.
And you all had a career before joining OG. I mean, different orgs, different teams. What was the challenge of coming together with different backgrounds?
To be honest, it was not too hard since we had Nathan, and I feel like myself, we both can work well with people, with other players. And I feel like what got the team together was obviously what Montu already mentioned, like Isa being in the team.
Yeah.
He's known for playing in international teams, and he's known for like keeping a good atmosphere within the team, and it really helps a lot if you watch it from the outside perspective. And I'm sure Casper knows it as well, like after watching for us for 1 month here. And like nobody has mentioned Valde yet, but the guy is just so calm, and he does his job like perfectly. And the way he could adjust from being the leader in North and suddenly like stop leading and going back to his old self, like focusing on himself and being the clutch player. I think he's showing more and more of that, and I'm just ready for 2020.
And taking a step back on all things and thinking about OG as an org as a whole, I mean, you have CS on one side and Dota on the other side, who are like one of the best esports existing. So I'm just wondering, are you guys gonna work together, maybe share the wisdom, the experience you can have, and Nathan, the experience you can have as well? Is it gonna be a two-way street, or are you just gonna go and have your journey?
No, I mean, the tricky part about it would be the schedules, of course, making it fit. I mean, these guys, they have a really heavy schedule, just like we do. So in that sense, it's a challenge. But I think that we're all very open-minded people and also humble in the sense that we like to learn from other persons. And when you see, like great competitors around you with different backgrounds, different teams, different orgs, different stories, different personalities. I mean, all of that put together, really, it's so rich that, of course, you want to learn from it. And whenever I get the chance to talk to these guys, it's like I look at it as being lucky. I'm like, you kind of, they'll help you grow, even if sometimes you're not aware of it. And hopefully they can also, get from our experience and stuff. So in that sense, it's something that is really cool. You don't get to do it often. But we definitely want to take every chance that we get at doing so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, the feeling that you get when you see other people wear the same jerseys and the same color. It's like it's a feeling of pride, really. And I don't know, we're like kids, when they compete now, we know how it feels. Like we look at the game and it's so much stress because we have no impact on it, and we really want them to win. So we're like, I'm gonna become spiritual, or like I'm gonna need stuff to hold on, as like to try to help from 1,000 kilometers away. But it's just really cool.
What do you think you can learn from them?
I mean, a lot of things. Seriously, like everything that comes to how they tackle their own like selves, their own how they approach competition, their team dynamics. There's so much. I couldn't even come up with a decent list. Like there's so much you can learn. I think you can also learn a lot from like the differences between the games. There are similarities, and that's a fact, but there are also big differences. I think communication differences, team dynamics, preparation, all of that really. So it's been a big learning experience. For me personally, it's been a big learning experience. Yeah.
And same question for the CS team. Anything you think you can learn from the Dota squad? Nathan, you should watch the game first. I think that, yeah.
So when we had our first boot camp in Poland, a few of the OG guys, Jerex amongst others, were already there. So they were like joining in on TeamSpeak and sitting behind us while we were practicing. And I feel like even though we play different games, we all reached a point in our lives where we're actually able to make a living from a game. Yeah. And that means that you reached a certain point in skill. So even though they might not understand everything about CS and vice versa, I still feel like we can share so many of our experiences. And yeah, I feel like it's great being part of something bigger. And I really feel that since I've been a part of OG. So yeah, I'm really stoked for 2020.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and also, like, before I joined the team, I had a lot of talks with Seb, and I feel like the biggest difference for me going into this team was, like, the philosophy all the way from the OG management down to the players. And I think it's the first time that there has been, like, a clear main thread about which way, like, the team is supposed to develop. And that's also said to Seb after our talks that he really, like, made me self-reflect in a way I haven't, like, done in a long time. So I think that was really, really good for me. Also knowing, like, the job I go into, normally it's been like you've done things in a certain way for so long in this game, but when you see other perspectives on it, it's really healthy for you as a competitor too, because coaches are competitors too, and we also need to develop. So yeah, I think that was the really cool part that really like signed me up to this team.
I know that backstage I was mentioning with Seb the fact that recently most of the esports org are working with the bigger stuff, whether it's going to be a nutritionist or sports athletes and stuff like that. Any sorts of things like that you would like to see in the CS team this year?
I think we can definitely learn from it. Okay. Like how deep you dive into it is really up to the individual, because someone will like reflect and do really good things and implement it into their daily routines, while others already have their own routine that they have working for them. I know that, for instance, like Valdir, like do a lot of mental preparedness for the games, and I think that's a really good step in the right direction. And as long as we can learn from each other and get some small tricks here and there, I don't think we have to like develop like the plan all over again. But like gaining like the small tricks is definitely something we can help.
All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in action. When is the first tournament? In 2 weeks? 1 week? Yeah. The next tournament for you guys. The first few days?
Yeah, we play on, is it Saturday morning?
Yeah, yes. Saturday morning, early, fun game.
Okay, you guys ready?
No, there is one thing, like it's gonna be important matches because we all come from respective teams, so you create stories. And obviously, so he doesn't want to talk too much, so we'll do it for him. But we're going to be facing ENCE, which is obviously the former team of Alexi. And I think we just have a point to prove. Every game is going to be like this against our former teams. Like, we just want to come in and be like, yeah, no, we're right. We're going to take you down. And so it's the point. We're here for that, and it's going to be every game, every tournament.
Yeah.
So obviously he's going to have to keep humble because he doesn't want to go too hard on it, and he doesn't want to take responsibility. I'll take responsibility for him. We have to go there, and we have to beat them.
But that's OG spirit in a nutshell. You heard Sumail before. He has a point to prove towards EG. That's how our team was formed initially. We had a point to prove too. So
Yeah, of
let's
course.
prove points, boys. Like, let's just prove points.
There is just one way. We have to make it. If we don't make it, we failed at it. So we can only win.
Well, I wish you a very good luck on that. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll still have more announcements on the way, Seb. What is the next one?
No, I can't just let it like this. Like, it's too easy. You're not gonna get me like this.
Want to watch the video first?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do it.
let's watch it.
No tail. No tail.
All right, 3, 2, 1. No keys. I think that's it. Ah! Fuck! The pause! This pause! I can't! He just shoots in a random direction, man! Oh, I'm so Oh, why did you have to change this? Cock. Oh shit, I broke my screen. Shit!
You know what it is? I feel like this looks familiar next to you guys. What is it like to not have that?
Sometimes it was overwhelming. It was getting to me. I was like, yeah,
Is there anything else that you want to add to OG?
yeah.
Maybe there's a player.
That's completely fine, right?
So as you guys noticed, Gorxy is joining the team, right?
Yeah, what?
Denmark?
You mean like the family?
I have.
No, I mean the team. He's going to be the next player, right?
You mean the Dota team?
So?
I mean, he will play Dota, but
What do you mean you think so?
you know.
What do you mean?
Wait, did I?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Maybe I get that. No, he's joining the family. The family.
So content creator. Yeah, let's just...
The family?
Welcome to the family. You're going to be the next content creator for OG.
Thank you.
How excited are you?
I'm super excited.
Okay, so tell me a bit more, because content creator, what does it mean? What are you going to do for OG? And with OG?
I'm still gonna stream
Okay.
our regular streams, but we will do extra bonus content that I think is gonna be fun for everybody. Together with OG, we'll make cool collaborations and stuff.
Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, what do you guys have in mind? How do you think you can collaborate?
I mean, this came very naturally. I mean, we just like anybody else in Dota. I guess we watch his streams. You know, we spend time watching his streams.
All the breakfasts that we had
At
Warsaw.
boot camps, we have this even this ritual where, like, at breakfast, you know, like we'd watch, and then it would get us in a good mood, like, and in shape for like the day to come. It was really cool. Anyway, and then I mean, we just ended up, you know, like talking and exchanging, and we're like, yeah, there's probably something really cool to make happen. I think what transpires from your streams, you know, and I'm speaking under your control, but it's kind of the same vision. It's you know, it's casual in the best way that you can put it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's genuine, it's spontaneous, it's just, you know, Dota. It's about enjoying, sharing connection with your community, and that's something that we really appreciate. And hopefully we can be part of that community if we're not already. I mean, I've been spamming your Twitch chat, you haven't noticed, but that's something else. But anyway, so it's about, you know, working together, making something cool happen.
Okay.
Yeah, as simple as that, really.
Johan, you want to add something?
That being said,
Don't
I
mind
mean,
them.
yeah, I mean, they're having a good time, right?
The
They're having an
party's
amazing
there, the party's
time.
there,
That being said, it's kind of a new venture for us. I can only speak for myself. I mean, I've streamed a bit, and now I've seen the business side of things, and streaming is a good way of reaching your fans. It's a good way to communicate, and it's a good way to also get a following. So there's cool stuff that we can do, and there's stuff to be worked on. But yeah, it's going to be like a learning on the go kind of experience. Just like every Dota game, you're going to have to learn on the go. And yeah, I mean, looking at Bulldog with Alliance, you got to think you can do better than that. So.
Oh my God, the shots.
That's relaxed.
That's what you like to hear.
Is there any content you have in mind already? And why do you think your style would fit with OG style?
I think my transparency and openness works well with OG, and for content, I think we had ideas of post-game interviews and tons of cool stuff, maybe behind the scenes, like an addition to the stream, and I think giving a perspective that doesn't really exist anywhere else, which I think a lot of people will like, and I will like it myself too. So
you're going to be following them around too during events and shoot some extra content?
We're not sure exactly how we're going to do that, but yeah, sometimes, maybe.
Yeah. When it feels right, when he's up to it, and we can make it happen, then it's just gonna be some, just casual, really cool approach, like we do genuine, and we're just gonna try to open a window on that to people. I mean, we've been hanging around for TrueSight. It's been great. Had this been a tournament, there would have been a lot of that too. And if we can just find a way to open up a window on that so that people get a glimpse of it too, I think that's really cool. We thought about joining him for post-game interviews, casual post-game interviews after that. That's gonna be really fun. That's gonna be hella fun. I don't know. Basically, we're gonna see where this takes us. I think we get along really well. We share the same, like approach and kind of mentality, and that something usually good comes out of these things. So yeah.
And I want to know a bit more about you. Tell me about your journey as creator, someone active online. What led you to take this road? What do you like the most about it?
I don't know really. I feel like I kind of fluked myself to the top. Like I just streamed every day. I had a good time. And eventually it just became a thing so big I couldn't ignore it. I quit university and went all in.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not by chance. Come on, you hired the guy. Why is he so talented?
He's a friendly guy. People like him, and that's kind of the first step. He builds his own platform and his own audience. We don't want to work with anyone. Sorry, not anyone. We don't want to work with everyone. It has to fit. It has to be good. And our pops have been unsuccessful, and yet he stays friendly and he plays with me. So, yeah, please be my friend, man.
We've had some success. We've had some success. It wasn't that bad, was it?
Yeah, we beat EG that one time.
That was okay. I was pretty proud of that achievement.
Yeah, and we beat EG together. So now there's. Oh yeah,
that's how
bro.
we came together, yeah.
Okay.
And why did you like Dota in particular? Why not
I
another
don't know.
game?
It's so addictive to me. It's like a drug. I can't stop.
Yeah.
So Dota does to you, man. It's such a cool game. Yeah.
Like the game itself or the competition around the game? What do you like the most?
I think it's really both. Dota puts you in a place where you want to improve all the time, and this environment is perfect for me. I'm a very competitive person.
And can you tease a bit about the first pieces you're going to produce, or do you have an idea about the first content you're going to produce with OG?
I don't know. What do you think, guys?
Probably gonna be something around, I guess, qualifiers or major, or just casually chilling on stream. We just wanna. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Basically, it's like
step by step.
It's like group of friends getting together and wanting to take a fresher look at certain things. I think it's as simple as that. And what's really cool, I think, about his approach to how he interacts with his community, one out is it's competitive, yet it's relaxed, yet it's you get hooked to it because it's a very nice balance of everything. You got the memes, you got the quality of the games, you got the competition because he does watch games often. So there's really everything. I mean, that's why I tune in. That's why I figured people tune in, and basically we're just happy to get to work with him and be part of it.
And begin this new journey. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this content and this backstage footage you're gonna do with the guys. But Seb, I don't think people were expecting this announcement. What about the team?
Yeah, we're still got some fixing to do, I guess.
Yeah, there's something more coming tonight, or somebody, I should say. Seb, why don't you go get him?
I'll go get him.
Oh, you want to go get him?
I'll go too.
Yeah, if you can do that.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Should we swap the seats and confuse them while they're gone?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. So is the league gonna become real, or?
So do you want to introduce the newest member of the team, or should I do it?
Am I going? Am I going out with it?
You're doing it.
No, I mean, serious mode now.
Yeah.
Serious mode is, there's a season ahead of us. The boys are looking at TI10 very seriously. All memes aside, we're already back to work, and we're already looking at what matters, and keeping OG where it is and where it's supposed to be. And we recreated, rebuilt, and it's an ongoing process, right? a group that we all really believe in, but hopefully can outshine what has been done. I'm sure it will. Yeah, and what can I say? I mean, he's appeared in some pictures here and there, unfortunately. I guess at this point it's kind of known that we're not the masters of announcing. Like, it's
He may have been in a
meme.
photo, and that photo may have gone out, yeah.
That was a funny photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he happened to be in the same restaurant, you know, grabbed the meal, kind of shook hands, and there he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you'll notice for yourself.
Yeah.
That's actually where we found him.
It's Saxa.
Saxa, thank you for
Saxa.
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How excited are you right now?
About this team, I'm very excited. There's a lot of good players on this team, very high caliber. Like the results they have speak for that.
Yeah.
And I think they have these results because they are like really good people, and the understanding that they have of the game is like really nice. So being able to play with them is a privilege for me.
I mean, tell me about this decision, this announcement, the fact that you joined OG. How did this happen?
I don't know. One day I was just at a cafe, and then I just get this message from No-Tail about maybe potentially joining OG.
Casually.
I mean, at first I kind of thought it was maybe OG Seeds, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do that maybe, but then I talked to him, and then that's when OG happened, and I'm pretty excited to be here.
Johan, tell me, what did you see in him?
Someone tall. Just kidding.
So, yeah, I can agree.
No. So, in all honesty, like, and this was before it even got posted. It's funny.
Yeah.
It coincidentally happened a few days after. But Saxa has always stood out on every team he's been playing on. I've known very little about him as a teammate and how he is as a person. I've only seen kind of what you get from Dota, but you can take certain personality traits from the game to a person and make out not the whole picture of the guy, but something. And what you see is somebody who's really, really talented. And then when we had the idea of what kind of roster can we build, thought of Saxa, approached him. 4 days later, it's like the #1 on Reddit, Saxa 3 accounts support rank 1, 2, 3 in EU, right?
Yeah, but then there was fake Saxa and fake
Saxa.
Which one are you? Are you fake Saxa or are you Saxa yourself?
I know
Which one did we
other guys.
get?
They're just copycats, maybe.
Oh,
Who knows?
But this is a very hard feat. I mean, this is very incredible because you have to keep those accounts active as they are up there and shit. So it's that speaks volumes. I think that's very good, but that's not everything. And that's also something Saxa will probably see. Is I don't know how it's been in other teams, but we focus a lot on not just how good you are at the game. MMR is fantastic, and that thing is incredible. But it's not the whole photo, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm just excited to get started. I think he's a beast, mean Batrider.
And Saxa, how about you? What can you learn from OG playing with them? What do you expect to learn from this team?
I mean, from the moment I started with these guys, like the way they just talk about the game, it's so much different from all the other teams I've been
Yeah.
on.
How?
Like they just talk about the game on a much deeper level than the other teams. The way they approach it is so much more different, and I feel like I can learn a lot from them, and hopefully I can step up to the challenge.
And I mean, Sumail just joined the team. You just joined the team. Are you excited to play also alongside him? He's a legend of the game. Also,
Yeah, I mean, you play with these players against these players like Sumail and Thompson, and it's like you hate them, but you hate them because they're good, you know. So that's why I respect them a lot, and being able to play with them is definitely nice, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Well, welcome to the family. But I mean, I count 4. I mean, sorry, you're not in anymore.
I
I
don't
count
count
4
anymore.
players here. Someone is missing.
Yeah. And it's not Gorsi, we've established that, so we're all
Who's
safe.
where's the last one?
Fences.
Who could that be? We need to go back to that restaurant and find another player.
Yeah, it's a good restaurant. It's a good place.
It's a good
place to find
Yeah, there
players,
were
yeah.
snacks there though, so just make sure that, don't get it wrong, bro.
But yeah, we do have one more player, and I believe we have a video announcing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he couldn't be with us tonight. So let's find out who he is.
Oh, that's awkward. I mean, we found out.
Hello guys, it's Bidwan here, and I am feeling pretty excited for joining OG for this upcoming seasons, for the next TI and stuff. I mean, we haven't qualified for TI, but I'm very excited to play with them, and I'm ready, so I can say.
And that was sent from the OG prison, I mean OG boot camp.
So Mid1 will be the latest member of the lineup. Can you tell us a bit more about him, maybe, since he couldn't join us tonight?
Yeah, so we needed somebody for the off lane, and for whatever reason, we thought of Mid1. Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
I mean,
no,
Yeah, you have 3 mid players now.
it's 3 mid
that's
players.
the problem. They're gonna roll.
Okay, who's gonna roll swap?
I mean,
You just roll the dice every time and you adapt?
you've been lifting, right?
Just go mid.
We're gonna set the different. So, no, but basically the way it ended up happening. I mean, Mid1 is an incredibly talented player. I think we could all testify. We all played against him. We all felt the pain. His playstyle is very similar to Sumail's, to Topias's, Johans and Martin's. It's quick, it's aggressive, it's impactful. It's just straight up good Dota. I mean, it's the simplest way to put it. He is a mid player indeed. I mean, he used to be, but his playstyle, that's also according to his own point of view. Now he's not here tonight to explain more, but he felt like his playstyle was very suited to the offlane role. Being an offlaner myself, I believe he's easily gonna, if it's not already the case, become one of the greatest offlaners. Like he's gonna outshine whatever I was able to do and whatever people are doing right now. He has the perfect mentality for that. And yeah, I mean, time will tell. Obviously, Dota will speak for itself. But there's going to be some really cool team dynamics to build from that. The fact that there's going to be 2 mid players, I assume, is going to be a nightmare for people to lane against these guys.
Yeah.
Mid players, they're known for the laning process. Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that I'm just not part of. I don't get to play against it anymore. It's going to be scary for the other teams. That's how I look at it. But
You're going to watch this mess from afar. Thompson, what do you think about your new lineup, your new teammates you're going to play alongside with?
I'm so scared to play mid now. Every mistake I make, it's like Mid1 and somebody looking at me like, what are you doing, man?
Open the replay. Just first thing is mid.
Yeah. I'm like, whoo, please don't judge me. I'm not very good.
Johan and you, I mean, being the 2 only remaining member of the 2019 OG squad, how is this one going to be different? Like, what do you think are going to be the main differences between the roster you used to have and the new team you have now?
I think the main difference, really, is going to be, it's heroes and playstyle. The playstyle will adapt slightly, but the heroes will adapt greatly. And then it's going to be different people, different cultures, different jokes. A lot more people to make fun of Tituan with. Yeah. Yeah, right. No.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's a very exciting project, of course. Like, this is my life. Dota is my life, and I'm yet again blessed with incredible talent. I don't know how it always ends up happening, so I'm just thankful. Can't wait to make shit happen.
I already see the situations where there's going to be a mid hero picked, some Storm Spirit or some Ember, and then it's going to be like, me, everybody's just going to press the button and try to. So we're going to have to find a way to balance that out, but overall it should be pretty cool.
Do you see any challenges, like right now, on top of your head with this lineup?
There are plenty of them, just like any team really. I mean, the truth is there's a lot of talent, but it can also, if we all don't put our hearts into it, and the best we're capable of, to each others, to each and every one of us individually, this can easily be a sinking ship, but it's not going to be, because we're going to make it otherwise, right? And we're going to make this something great and something successful and something that we're going to be happy evolving in. So it's just going to be really exciting. It's new sets of players, profiles. We're all going to be learning from each other's.
Yeah.
Old roster is something of the past now. There's no comparison to be drawn. It was cool while it lasted. It will always be happy memories, but now it's on to the future. It's going to be different in every single aspect, and that's a very positive, and that's a cool thing. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for everybody. It's just going to be fucking great. Like, what can I say?
One more thing, I guess, this is going to be better.
Yeah.
That's what it's always going to be. Always.
Same but better.
Yeah.
How is that possible? Really looking forward to
We'll make it work.
Yeah. We're going to take questions from the audience now. Duncan Wardlow, first question. What is one ritual tradition that the old squad had that would be hard to explain to the new squad? Like some weird stuff you used to do before the games and you want to keep tradition, but then you can't get them on board, maybe?
That's a tough one. What would it be?
That's a tough one, I guess. Wow.
What is the darkest secrets of
What kind of
OG's
rituals do we have?
preparation?
That
Any
are
monkey rituals you have?
range, yeah, as a team.
Oh. Nothing?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it will be a challenge for everyone to beat this guy in ping pong. That's kind of everybody's goal in the team. And I guess that will be everybody's challenge if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I
Okay.
can't hear anything, so I'm just smiling. I can't do anything, dude.
Are you good at ping pong?
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, I am. I am.
You are good at ping pong. You think you're better than him?
Fucking go.
I think so.
You think so?
No, I don't know. I
All
don't know.
right, it's on.
All right, it's on.
It's on.
I have another. Go ahead.
These
Thank
guys
God that
got
was about
nothing
ping
on
pong
me.
and not it.
Bro, I've been practicing.
Oh, really?
I have another question, and it's maybe more for you and you, Notel, because Faxrian is wondering, how do you feel about building a new roster in these conditions in comparison to last time? I mean, last time was a bit rushed when you think about it. But you made the best out of it for sure, but it must be different when you have time to think
It's
about
of course
stuff.
different. I think we're all in a funny.
Yeah.
Dota's in a funny place. The season's in a funny place. I do think it's. It could be better. Timing, but it's also not the worst. It's definitely been worse. Yeah, it's. We don't have much time before the open qualifier, but it all depends on how you look at it. We might be in a bad spot if we're hoping to be the best in 6 days, because nobody can be the best in 6 days. But we're in a fantastic spot for becoming the team that we want to be before TI10. So, fine. I'm happy with boot camping tomorrow. So.
I know people ask you that a lot, but there is no extra pressure for you coming back as the double TI winner. I mean, you don't let people's expectation get into your head, right?
No, there's no pressure at all. There's
Okay.
no pressure for us to deliver anything. There's no pressure for the three guys joining to be up to some standard. Like they're already up to the standard. Is why they're there. There's not even a standard. Like we're just lucky to have them. Like in every sincerely, we respect them. In every aspect of what they bring to the game, and we're just happy to have them, and we're looking forward to learn from them too. As we've said, and in that sense, no, there's no standard. I mean, we're going to ask each other to give the best that we can to the team, try our best. That's all you can ever be asked for. Seriously, that's already great. If we manage to do that, that's great, and whatever comes after is just going to be a positive consequence.
Yeah.
No matter the result, no matter the journey, we're all geared up. We're ready for it. So yeah, whatever
Step
comes.
by step,
Yep,
one game
whatever comes our way.
after another. And I have a question for you, Notel, and I feel like many people have been wondering this. I mean, with you, Seb, stepping down, you're going to be leading the team differently now without Seb's guidance, if I may say. And yes, CSHM is wondering, do you think that your work will now be bigger as a leader?
I view it more like Seb helping the team how he can is going to be even more beneficial. This is kind of what he was doing from the inside, so I feel like he was wearing two hats. Now he's going to be able to wear one hat, and you always wear one hat better than two. Two hats just look silly, right? So no, in that sense, I think there's going to be less work to do. And also more freedom, hopefully a less toxic offlaner.
God. I was hoping we're not gonna tackle that part.
No. But
Okay.
of course, need Seb around. If Seb wouldn't be here, Dota would be missing the best brain that the game had. So we don't want that to happen, right? We need it. We need it, Seb. Saksa, tell him we need it.
We need you.
No, I mean, he's way too tall for me to argue with him. Like, okay, man, I'll do
much pressure.
whatever you need from me. I'll do it.
Can't even move on. And a good follow-up question is that from Vil to Temisto is, with Seb, Jerax, and Anna leaving, how do you think it will impact the gameplay of OG as a whole? And I'm actually asking the whole team here. How do you think it's going to impact the gameplay of OG? Losing 3 members.
I mean, if we had to play 2 versus 5, it would impact
2 versus
quite
5
a lot.
would be complicated, yeah. Back-to-back TI winner, 2 versus 5 would be good.
It's hard to give us like a clear answer to that question. I mean, obviously, it's going to impact it in a lot of different ways. I don't think we're able to tell how much it's going to impact it, but the truth is, it doesn't really matter because, with other people getting on board, it's going to be a totally different team. Like that's what I think we really want to get across. Like and that's a good thing. Thank God it's going to be a different team. We're not going to try to mimic what existed. It doesn't make any sense. And no, by definition, it has to be different. It's healthy. It's great. We also want to move forward. Learn. We want to learn from these three guys. Yeah, basically that's it.
I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I'll be better tomorrow than I am today.
Yep.
Therefore, we will be the best at TI 10 that we can be.
So looking forward to tomorrow.
Nice saying.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how the team evolves in this condition. And another question from Jay Hunter is it hard? Actually, it's one advice for professional players as a whole. Is it hard to keep the fire going? And it's understandable that OG went through some struggles, you and Saxa, as we said. What is the best advice you could give a professional player?
Mine would be to...
All of you. We're going to go through all of you.
Yeah. Mine would be to just, be open-minded, obviously. Listen to what people have to say, take criticism. But at the end of the day, once you took criticism, just self-reflect and believe in yourself, right? So if you feel like you should keep going, just keep going. If you feel like, you shouldn't, just listen to yourself. But if you feel like you should keep going, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Just, keep going.
Saxa, any advice you could give?
Well, to be the best, you have to be able to enjoy the game and enjoy playing the game. That's how you'll be the best version of yourself. So if you want to get better at the game, you just have to enjoy playing the game and try to get better just by playing.
Strive. And Johan, any advice you could give?
Get the range creep. No, it's very much like Seb wants. If you really do want to see yourself become the best, you gotta want it, and you have to ask yourself, do I really want it? And be honest with yourself, and then you can also do things to help yourself want it more. You can fuel your own motivation and treat it. I think asking yourself, how bad do you want it?
Okay.
Do I really want it more or not?
Topson, how do you become a champion? What is the best advice you can give to a professional player?
How to win TIs, man?
You have to always self-reflect. Actually think about, do you actually how much do you want it, and what do you actually want what do you want to do with your life, and what is most important to you, and if playing as a pro is most important to you, then you you know it, and you're okay, I'll give everything for it, and then just it will come if you really want.
Sumel, I know you don't hear us from the other side of the couch, but did you hear the question?
Yeah, I read it. I read
Great.
it on the screen.
Your advice.
I feel like you have to stop playing for a while, or just take a break to realize how much you want to do it. And the hunger is the most important part. I think talent and hunger, they go hand in hand. It doesn't matter if you put a lot of effort if you don't really have the same drive. So the hunger has to be there, and talent, and that's how you make it.
We still have one. I think that's it for the question. Oh, there's one more. Okay, from Catnip Capper. Come on. Who's asking who was the best dancer in OG and what will change with the new roster?
Seb's the best dancer. Seb is by far the best dancer. Did you manage to see it?
Yeah,
we saw it, right? Yeah, it was at Epicenter. We got him to dance again. Yeah. This guy, so I knew him for already 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And then we go to an after party, and I make him dance for the first time. And that night I learned you did hip-hop dancing for 8 years or 10 years or something.
Yeah, I used to do that before Dora, so it's quite
Yeah. So the more you know, this guy is pretty good at dancing.
I'll be the mascot for the team. I'll just be dancing in the background to just hype them up.
So it would be crazy if somebody's better. Has somebody done more than 8 years of hip-hop dancing?
I have definitely not.
Have you done any dancing?
Dance? No.
Are you a good dancer?
No. I'll be by far the worst.
Okay.
I'll teach you guys.
Is there anything you would like to add about this new roster before we move on to the last announcement of the evening?
No. I think
what should I be looking forward to as a league fan? As you know, what should I be looking forward to when it comes to OG in 2020? Give me one reason to watch you guys the whole way. I will.
Honestly, I think you just be looking forward to the next game these guys are going to be playing.
Mad Dota.
Yeah.
Mad Dota.
Mad Dota.
Yeah,
Mad
that's
Dota.
good. Yeah, that's good enough. I like
Wise
that.
words, Mad Dota in 2020. And for the last announcement of the evening, I would like you, Seb, and Topson to swap, because I want him to hear what I was asked to say. So yeah, let's swap.
All right.
1 sec. Because this is an announcement for you, Topson. There is something happening I don't know if you know about it. Some kind of
no
documentary about you.
Oh,
Yeah?
right.
Yeah? You want to see a trailer?
Sure.
Okay, let's watch a trailer.
Olihan se silleen, että se on eka ensimmäinen iso turnaus. Oli enempi suorituspainoista ja uutta.
It's like my first big tournament, and I won it. After the second one, people started like, you're pretty good. Life just changed.
Tapson to Godson. I mean, are you honored to have like your own documentary after only 2 years playing professionally?
Yeah, of course. It's really exciting. Like making this
Yeah.
documentary is something I don't like to do these things, but it's like
Why?
I think about it like I should do it. Like it's such an honor to do things like that, and I'm really happy that I did it.
Tell me about it. Like they followed you home with your family, everything. How did this happen? Like, how long did it take? Tell me the
It
details.
was a 3-day-long
Okay.
filming session, and yeah, they came to Oulu, or my family city,
Mhm.
and yeah, they just came to our house and filmed just me doing my normal daily things, and yeah.
Are you excited to see it? Nervous, maybe?
Yeah, not really excited. I'm like, I don't want to see myself on the camera, so I'm like.
Aw. Well, I think it's going to be a beautiful piece, and you can find it on YouTube. On Red Bull right after this stream ends. You can find it tonight, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. This is almost the end of our evening. I want to let you guys have the final word because this was your night. I hope you're excited about everything that happened. New exciting things for OG in 2020. So yeah, let's just take a step back on the whole evening and tell me what you feel about this. What you feel about all these announcements that we made.
Exciting year. Exciting year ahead. That's it.
Yeah?
Very exciting year ahead.
It's been a long couple
A lot of
months.
excitement.
And it's a lot of, yeah, I can't wait to get back to playing. That's me right now. I can't wait to play. That's all I can say. And thank you guys for coming out tonight. And
Yeah.
thanks to everyone who made all of this happen, of course. Wow, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's like, somebody could have told us this a year ago or 2 years ago. No,
Yeah,
no.
especially 2 years ago. If you could talk to yourself from 2 years ago and say, okay, it's gonna end up this way. We're gonna have this night announcing another team in another game, having a new lineup, going for maybe a third title in 2020. I mean, would you have believed it?
I mean, 2 years ago, probably would have told myself, stay strong, bro. You know, like,
Keep it up. Yeah.
Stay strong, bro.
I think I would have laughed my ass off if somebody told me this story.
Yeah. Would not have believed it. So, yeah.
Anything you would like to say to the fans before we go?
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support, the inspiration too, because that's where it comes from also. I think there are a lot of times in your career where it's you can be down, feel down, but people
Yeah.
lift you up. Fans do that too by just showing support and appreciation. So in that sense, yeah, just thank you. I mean, what can I say? Thank you for everything.
Yeah. And thank you for being with me tonight and joining us on stream for the OG night. That's a wrap for this show. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you all, everyone, for following the night, following the stream. More announcements will come throughout the year and throughout this season. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. I'll see you guys soon.
It seems impossible for this team to take home a championship. A team ranked dead last by the majority of pundits. Can they really do the impossible? But this is a story about something much more than a game.
We went into it with the mentality that friendship will win in the end.
You have to believe it in your guts that
it's not over. Because obviously everything around you is telling you it's over.
The ultimate underdog story.
Every good Dota team understands the phrase "a good teammate." All 6 of them.
Now looking back at it, it's changed my life.